Washington, my home, wherever I may roam.
The Big Bus Washington, D.C. Hop-on Hop-off Tour. The Big Bus Tour offers a flexible way to see the major landmarks of Washington, D.C. at your own pace from an open-top double-decker bus. Union Station, the main starting point. It is noted as the only official tour authorized by the National Park Service. This is the core of the experience, allowing you to get off at any designated stop to explore an attraction and then rejoin a later bus when you are ready. Major Attractions, the tour, is designed to pass by and stop near the city's most famous landmarks and memorials. A free mobile app with live bus tracking and route information. Audio guide The Bus features informative pre-recorded commentary about the city's history and landmarks, often available in multiple languages.
The United States Capitol building is one of the most famous and symbolically important buildings in the world. It is the seat of the legislative branch of the U.S. federal government and a powerful symbol of American democracy. Home of Congress, the Capitol, houses the two chambers of the U.S. Congress. The Senate meets in the North Wing. The House of Representatives meets in the South Wing. It is the location for major national events, including presidential inaugurations held on the West Front, the President's annual State of the Union address to a joint session of Congress, the lying in state or honor for eminent citizens in the Rotunda. The magnificent white dome is one of the building's most recognizable features. The height from the ground to the top of the statue is 288 feet. Crowning the dome is the bronze Statue of Freedom, which was placed in 1863 during the Civil War. The building is located on Capitol Hill at the eastern end of the National Mall in Washington, D.C. The cornerstone was laid by President George Washington on September 18, 1793. Congress first convened in the building in 1800, before it was fully complete. In 1814, British troops burned the Capitol during the War of 1812, gutting much of the interior. It was rebuilt and extended throughout the 19th century to accommodate the growing number of states and members of Congress.
The United States Botanic Garden is the oldest continuously operating public garden in the country and is situated on the grounds of the U.S. Capitol. It is a living plant museum dedicated to educating visitors about the importance of plants. Admission is free to all areas of the U.S. Botanic Garden. The USBG offers a variety of permanent exhibits and themed gardens. The USBG frequently hosts dynamic exhibits and seasonal shows.
The Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum is one of the most popular museums in the world. The museum has two primary locations with vast collections: National Air and Space Museum, Washington, D.C., This is the main museum located on the National Mall. The International Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. is a popular, privately run museum dedicated to the tradecraft, history, and contemporary role of espionage.
The Big Bus Tour offers a flexible way to see the major landmarks of Washington, D.C. at your own pace. This is the core of the experience, allowing you to get off at any designated stop to explore an attraction and then rejoin a later bus when you are ready. Major Attractions, the tour, is designed to pass by and stop near the city's most famous landmarks and memorials.
The Washington Monument, located on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., is an iconic obelisk honoring George Washington, the first president of the United States. It is a major historical landmark and remains the tallest structure in the city. Height text, 555 feet and 5 minus 1/8 of an inch, 169 meters. It was the world's tallest structure upon its completion in 1884. Material, constructed from marble, granite, and bluestone gneiss. The visible change in the marble's color, about 150 feet up, marks where construction paused for over 20 years and then resumed using stone from a different quarry. An Egyptian-style obelisk designed by architect Robert Mills. Interior. It is a hollow structure with a single elevator that takes visitors to the observation deck. The inner walls feature 193 commemorative stones donated by various states, cities, and countries. Located at the 500-foot level, offering panoramic views of the city, including the Lincoln and Jefferson Memorials, the U.S. Capitol, and the White House.
The Bureau of Engraving and Printing, BEP, is a vital government agency within the United States Department of the Treasury. It designs and produces the nation's paper currency, known as Federal Reserve Notes, U.S. dollar bills, for the Federal Reserve. The BEP was established on August 29, 1862.
The Lincoln Memorial is one of the most iconic and frequently visited national memorials in the United States, honoring the 16th U.S. President, Abraham Lincoln. It is situated at the western end of the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Designed by architect Henry Bacon, the structure is built in a neoclassical style, resembling a Greek Doric temple. The exterior is surrounded by 36 columns, representing the 36 states in the Union at the time of Lincoln's death. The names of the 48 states at the time of the memorial's completion are carved above the columns. The central chamber houses the famous monumental seated statue of Lincoln, sculpted by Daniel Chester French. The statue is 19 feet, 5.8 meters, tall. It is administered by the National Park Service as part of the National Mall and Memorial Parks.
The Second World War Memorial in Washington, D.C. is called the National World War II Memorial. It is located on the National Mall at the east end of the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. It honors the 16 million people who served in the U.S. Armed Forces during World War II, the more than 400,000 who died, and the millions who supported the war effort from home. 56 granite pillars, representing the unity of the 48 states, 7 territories, and the District of Columbia at the time. 2 large arches representing the Atlantic and Pacific theaters of the war. The Freedom Wall, with 4,048 gold stars, each representing 100 Americans who died in the war.
It opened to the public in April 2004 and was formally dedicated in May 2004. The Korean War Veterans Memorial is a powerful and evocative tribute to the 5.8 million Americans who served in the U.S. Armed Forces during the Korean War, 1950 to 1953. It is located on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., near the Lincoln Memorial and the Reflecting Pool. The memorial's design is known for its sense of movement and immersion. A central feature is a triangular field containing 19 stainless steel statues depicting a squad of soldiers on patrol. The figures represent a multi-ethnic cross-section of the U.S. military, including members of the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, and Air Force. The memorial was authorized in 1986 and dedicated on July 27, 1995.
Arlington National Cemetery, located in Arlington, Virginia, across the Potomac River from Washington, D.C., is the United States' premier military cemetery and a hallowed shrine to the service and sacrifice of American veterans. The cemetery originated during the Civil War. The land was part of the Arlington estate, which was originally owned by George Washington Parke Custis, and later inherited by his daughter, Mary Anna Randolph Custis, the wife of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. The U.S. Army seized the property and began burying Union soldiers there in 1864 to accommodate the overwhelming number of Civil War dead. It was officially established as a national cemetery on June 15, 1864.
The White House, located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue NW in Washington, D.C., is one of the most recognized buildings in the world and serves as a powerful symbol of the American presidency and democracy. It serves as the primary office for the President and the staff of the Executive Office of the President. The name the building was originally known as the President's Palace, or Executive Mansion. President Theodore Roosevelt officially gave it the name the White House in 1901.
Washington, D.C.'s Chinatown is a small, historic neighborhood that has undergone significant transformation, yet remains a culturally distinct district in the heart of downtown.
The Big Bus Tour offers a flexible way to see the major landmarks of Washington, D.C. at your own pace from an open-top double-decker bus. It is noted as the only official tour authorized by the National Park Service. This is the core of the experience, allowing you to get off at any designated stop to explore an attraction and then rejoin a later bus when you are ready. Major Attractions, the tour, is designed to pass by and stop near the city's most famous landmarks and memorials.
The National Gallery of Art, NGA, is a world-renowned art museum located on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. It is celebrated for its vast, encyclopedic collection that traces the development of Western art. The only painting by Leonardo da Vinci in the Americas, Ginevra da Vinci. Masterworks by artists such as Johannes Vermeer, Rembrandt, Monet, Degas, Raphael, and El Greco. Modern and contemporary art, 20th century to the present.
This is the core of the experience, allowing you to get off at any designated stop to explore an attraction and then rejoin a later bus when you are ready.
Union Station is a monumental, historic, and multimodal transportation hub located in Washington, D.C., just a few blocks northeast of the U.S. Capitol building. It is one of the nation's premier examples of Beaux-Arts architecture and serves as a major gateway to the nation's capital.